Welcome to Dateline Health. This is Fred Lippman coming to you from Nova Southeastern University. There are a lot of things that come to mind from viewers, and these programs really are creation of comments that come from our viewers. And they were talking to me about mentorship and where do we get it? The schools are closed down, schools are open. Kids are, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, things of that nature. There's such a composite group of things that people have been writing to us about. So I figured, well, I know there's a big mentoring group, and they call it Mentors Matters, I believe. And it's from Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Broward. So let me introduce to you first the president and CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Broward, Malena Mendez. Malena?
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for having me. What a pleasure it is to be here today. What a great opportunity. I'm very excited to talk to you a little bit about Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Broward and all the great things that we've been doing for our children historically for many years. And specifically during this time where there's been such change and such need in our community. So very happy to be here and thank you.
And of course, we have the chair of Big Brothers and Big Sisters Board and a big brother to Desmond, whoever Desmond is, and I'll find out in a minute. But that's Chad Van Horn, who is a lawyer. Very prominent member of the law profession, and I'm proud to say a graduate of NSU's College of Law, the Shepherd Broad School of Law. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity, and yes, I've been a big for about a decade now. My little is bigger and stronger than I am at this point, though, so he's not as little as he once was, but it's been great. It's been great being part of this program and especially working with Malena over the last year or so as chairman of the board. And we've really, we bucked the trend. Obviously during COVID, a lot of businesses are struggling, but our nonprofit has really thrived and worked hard to make sure that there are still mentorship outlets out there for our littles. So I'm so happy to be here today, and thanks again for having us.
Let me ask you, before I get back to Malena, to the general public that talks to us, what is a mentor?
So I've been big into mentoring since I was a youth because I had so many great mentors in my life. So believe it or not, mentors are it's very easy to be a mentor. It's somebody that can show you something, that show a kid something that they would not have otherwise known. For example, for my little, he was 13 years old. We went to the batting cages. And I said, well, let's go hit some baseballs. And he goes up there. He goes, well, I don't know how to hold a bat. I said, have you never went to the batting cages? And that's something I took for granted because at 4 or 5 years old, I was in Little League. So he said, no. So I showed him how to hold the bat. He goes, well, I don't know if I'm left-handed or right-handed when it comes to swinging a baseball bat. So that was a mentorship moment, and there was a spark there where he gets there, and by the end of it, he's hitting baseball, and he loved baseball. We ended up going to a Marlins game and having a good time with it. So a mentor is really anybody that has more experience that can show somebody with less experience the right way to do things.
So Malena Mendez, as president and CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Broward, and you have the program called Mentors Matter. I'm sure that there are numerous opportunities now, not that there wasn't before the pandemic, but we've had young people particularly, and really people who are older, that are wondering. So tell me, Malena, what is the general focus generally of Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Big Brothers, Big Sisters historically is the longest running, largest mentoring organization in the country. It's been around since 1904. and really for many years putting a lot of youth in the hands of really great people, as you say, just real out there willing to just support and help guide a child to be their better self. So during the pandemic, we pivoted and were able to continue our mentoring programs and go virtually on a virtual platform. And fortunately, we had a lot of folks that stepped up and said, yeah, we want to invest in, we want to continue to invest in our community, in our children, and we have a little bit extra time now. So we are grateful. We are always looking for more. We have a wait list of about 365 kids now that are waiting to find their perfect mentor that's going to take them by the hand and show them, as Chad said, something a little different that maybe they've never been exposed to, or maybe give them some guidance academically or socially. So if you're listening to this program and you have time and you want to invest some of that time in changing the life of a child, we encourage you to reach out to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Broward. There's always a tremendous need for folks from our community to come in and help serve in our organization.
I know it's very common in Chad Van Horn's profession, where being a legal expert reaches out. Let me show you how to do something. Is that correct, Chad?
Yeah, and I've been fortunate in my career where I've had other practitioners and even judges, to take you aside and say, this is the right way to do something. And especially over the last 18 months, our littles definitely need mentorship. But I've had my mentors come to me and say, look, it's going to be all right. This is how we're going to get through things. Don't get stressed. Here's the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm very fortunate to have that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids, approximately 350 kids in Broward County that don't necessarily have somebody that can say that to them. So as Malena said, we are looking for mentors, and I've definitely benefited from it. My career would not be where it is today without my mentors. And it's just the right way to grow, in my opinion.
Let me ask either one of you, we can jump in on this. We have here at NSU a very large number of veterans that are now matriculating and trying to put themselves back into a reasonable point of life. Is there any opportunity for big brothers and big sisters to participate with our veterans program, to offer mentorship? Because I think being a mentor, and I think back myself, not to personalize this, but when I think back, I grew up with my grandmother and grandfather living in my home where I was born. And when I really think of it, my grandfather was a dramatic mentor to me. It wasn't, learning how to do calculus or figuring out a chemical compound issue. It was how to sleigh ride or how to roller skate. People may oversimplistically say, well, that's not mentoring, but it is, because it showed love and concern and passion so that I wouldn't fall and I would take care of myself. Am I in the right direction, Chad?
100%. And I was fortunate enough to have my grandparents live with me growing up as well. And some of my best memories are sitting on the front step and here's how you tie your shoes. He'd always yell at me to not use slang, not have a Pittsburgh accent. So people always wonder why they can never guess I'm from Pittsburgh, because I don't have the Pittsburgh accent. Because my grandfather, still to this day, I can remember him yelling at me. We don't talk that way in this house. And his family grew up in England, so he was very proper about certain things. And it's the little things that show that they care, and that's really being a mentor boils down to somebody that cares about you. And that's the great thing about this organization, because we're putting two random people together, and there's just this care, and then that caring over the years turns into love. And it really is an amazing thing. And it's the small things that matter. I think you caught it immediately. So I can tell you've had good mentors throughout your life.
And if I can just interject and say intergenerational relationships are so important, because our young kids learn and grow and understand something that's completely not that's foreign to them. I'm super excited this year that we've partnered with Oakmont Village, which is a senior retirement village in Davie, and they're going to be hosting for our littles this year a fantastic holiday party. And we're hoping that out of that holiday party, those relationships are going to flourish, where we're going to have some seniors that will eventually mentor our little kids. Another example, I was sitting in my office just, I want to say a week or two ago, and there was, I would say he was probably over 65, and he was mating his match for the very first time, young boy. And he actually said to me, he said, I thought I was a little bit too old for this, but what I'm finding is that I read an article in the paper, and I said, I have some time, back to what you were saying, Fred, about, having a little bit of extra time now that he was retiring. And he said, and I decided to reach out, and here I am. So there is no age limit to being a mentor. There is no background, no gender, no religion. We welcome all people of all places that want to take that step and invest their time in helping a child. So intergeneration, veterans, you name it, they're all welcomed here.
Is that particular venue on Sterling Road in Davie?
It is, and they're hosting a great holiday party for our kids, and they're actually adopting many of our kids for the holidays. The seniors there to provide the gifts off their wish list with Santa and all kinds of great stuff that's going to be happening.
Mentorship is not just for our littles. I feel like it should be throughout society, especially through a COVID, through a pandemic and whatnot, where we might not have as many social experiences where we're seeing people face to face. And that's why Malena and our organization did a great job of turning digital when it needed to happen, so that we can still, it's not exactly the same. I'm one of those people that really struggled, because I love shaking hands, giving hugs, doing all of that stuff. So I really struggled at the beginning until you get used to it. So I'm hopeful we can get past this so we can get more in person. But it is nice now to have at least this hybrid approach. And I agree with you that mentorship is going to be key, not just today, but for upcoming generations.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, to both of you, if any of you or myself served in the armed forces of the United States, you always see on television, or movies, or whatever, you see the training of people, jumping into something or shooting at something or whatever. But the reality is that many of these people are mentored by individuals who are trying to tell them, you must protect yourself in order for you to obligate yourself to the justice of the purpose of what you're doing. Chad?
Absolutely, and the military is a great organization that shows how mentorship works, because obviously the chain of command is very clear there, and that's why we have many military members that are mentors to our littles, and they're great mentors because they're very well disciplined, and discipline goes a long way, as my mentors have taught me over the years, and how our bigs have taught our littles over the years.
We actually, Fred, have a program called Bigs and Blues, Bigs with Badges. And it is police officers, military officers, firefighters, administrative folks from the law enforcement world. And it's an entire program that was actually launched, I want to say 3-4 years ago, but this year, for the first year, we actually got some state funding for the entire state of Florida, for all of the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, to really promote that program and bridging a little bit of the gap that's been happening over the past year between our law enforcement, military, firefighters. So it's a program that we're very excited to be growing. We have great partnerships currently with City of Hollywood Police Department and Coconut Creek Police Department and Fort Lauderdale Police Department, Wilton Manors Police Department, and we are actually going to put a lot of focus in 2022 to really grow that program, invite folks from the military, invite folks from, it originally was called Bigs and Blues, and then we realized that there's a much greater access if we include Bigs with badges. So all arms of any type of military, armed forces, law enforcement, all of those great things.
That's terrific.
Yeah, our Bigs and Blues program, Bigs with Badges, is specifically that. It's really to raise awareness for our youth in our community. We match them with folks of our law enforcement community, and really highlight the good that the incredible good that all of our Bigs and Blues and Bigs with Badges are doing in our community to create a safe community for everyone. So as I said, it's a program that we're very excited about. It's been sort of quietly growing over the past years, but this year, with the funding that we're receiving from the state of Florida, the district attorney's office, the state attorney's office, we're really excited to really grow that program greatly.
The number one thing about mentorship, mentorship is actually free, and the lessons are free. The only thing that you have to invest in my opinion, is the most important thing. It's your time. So it's taking the time, because it would have been easier for your friend just to ignore it, let him gloat, and then eventually he would have learned the hard way, where now he's going to have a bunch of enemies out there that and he's not really enjoying the practice of law. Now, when you're in the courtroom, we're battling hard for our clients, but at the end of the day, you have to have that professional relationship and have respect. So, and a lot of these things are simple concepts if you know them. But if people don't tell you about them, then you'll never understand them. And that's where Malena brought up the point of different generations. And I certainly believe in that as well, learning from people that have been through it. And it makes it so much easier than trying to carve your own path completely. Now, you should obviously make it your own way, but learn from the people that have been there before.
Absolutely. Malena, since you're the president and CEO, I'm sure you have to go out and try to make sure that you get money from the state or the federal government or the general community. How does one communicate with you? Do you have a telephone number or an address?
I do. Certainly you can visit our website at www.bbbsbroward.org. That's to find out about how you can support, how you can get involved, how to sign up your child to be a little and reap the benefits of the program for your child if you have one that could benefit from a mentor relationship, how to become a big or become a mentor, and certainly how to find me. And you can reach me on my direct line at 954-558-6699. That's my cell number, by the way, which I give to everybody. So I typically always answer. So if you have any questions, have any interest, or want to learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Broward, that's my direct line. No kidding. It doesn't get more direct than that. So please feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to answer any questions with regards to either being a little, being a big, or becoming a supporter.
Does the organization have an office or a home base, or is it within this ether called?
We're located right on Ravenswood Road, 4101 Ravenswood Road, Suite 202. We're here 5 days a week, and welcome anybody that wants to come on in and learn a little bit more of how to get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Along the lines of fundraising, we were really excited this year to launch an initiative called Broward Bigger, Better, Stronger. And I am thrilled to say that so many members from the community rallied and came together, certainly in a time of great need, that we were just knee deep in the pandemic. And I'm happy to say that we have grown our board exponentially under the leadership of Chad. We've grown our resources. We have grown our infrastructure, and we are really gearing to serve more children. Obviously, continue to serve the ones that we have, but grow more and be able to serve more children. So I thank everyone that participated and is participating in our Broward Bigger, Better, Stronger initiative. It really is making our community bigger, better, and stronger.
That's great, Malena. Thank you very much. I want to thank you both for being here today. We're down to the last 3 minutes of the show, just so that you know that there's, right here in Broward County, there's a tremendous need for greater mentorship from big brothers, big sisters. So that's my job to try to get that information to you. I want to thank you both for being here today. That's Malena Mendez, the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Broward, and Chad Van Horn from Pittsburgh, JD. And he's the chair of Big Brothers Big Sisters board and big brother to Desmond. Who's Desmond?
So Desmond's a local kid that I was matched up with about 10 years ago. So now he's in his 20s. It's not so little anymore.
Okay, good. I meant to ask you that question before. So folks, as I always say, I always tell you to try to take good care of yourself. Dominantly, this is a healthcare show, but I really believe that by bringing you this particular subject, it's the healthcare of the community. And what's any greater than the healthcare of the community next to the healthcare of your own body? So, because, you know, again, I'm sure Chad grew up this way. I know that I did, that the neighbors in the community were really very important to me when I was growing up. Of course, I grew up in the epicenter of the world called Brooklyn, New York, which I'm sorry, Chad, it's just, you know, that's the way it is. But I want to thank both Malena and Chad for being advocates for the welfare of the community, because by mentoring these young men and women, and sometimes they're not that young, but whoever they might be, they're helping all of us. So thank you both for being here today. Remember, folks, you know, you're quite welcome, Malena. Remember, folks, this still is a healthcare show, but this is the healthcare of the community. And I always tell you at the end that don't hide anything from anyone. If you have a problem, reach out. But most importantly, if you have a problem with your health, don't wait. See your doctor. Take good care of yourself. My name is Fred Lippman. This is Nova Southeastern University. Until next time, see ya.